Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. We are immensely looking forward to our level 2 courses that are starting soon. Together, we'll gather as a community in these next few months to expand our capacity to receive higher frequencies and anchor that energy into the Earth's grid. And if you still feel the call, there's still time to join us. Sign-up links will be placed in the chat. All right, we have many newcomers today to the pathways. And whether you're already enrolled or still thinking about it, our intention for today's session is to dive deep into the essence of the pathways, explore the profound impact of the courses, and hear firsthand testimonials from those who have walked this path. And I am joined today by a panel of Pillars of Light and Earth Keepers in Service who are going to share a bit about their own experiences. Also, if you are a fellow course graduate, you are warmly welcome to share your experiences in the chat as well. Additionally, we'll have some time at the end to ask any questions you may have about the course pathways. And that's what we're going to do today. Sound like fun? Yeah, let's do it. All right. Please help me welcome our dear panelists and active members of our community. Our first panelist today is Anne Atkins, who has journeyed through many chapters of life as a mother, counselor, artist, and author. Anne has been a valued member of our Living Alignment community over 3 years and has completed both course pathways. She joined us on the transformative expeditions in Guatemala and the Balkans, exploring the magic of ancient civilizations and also engaging deeply in trauma work. Anne is a big supporter and volunteer in our community and Earth Keepers in Service WhatsApp group. So welcome, Anne. Our next panelist is Linda Bruce. Hello, Linda. Linda bridges the world of clinical medicine and vibrational alchemy. A former nurse and clinical consultant, Linda is now a registered homeopath and Corinthian healer. Linda discovered our community just 3 days after retiring and has been an active member since, joining numerous events and transformative expeditions, most recently Turkey. Linda is also a graduate of both pathways and a part of our Living Alignment membership. Welcome, Linda.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be with you.
Up next is our dear Alan Danker, who has walked the self-realization journey through many spiritual traditions and energetic practices over the years. Alan has been a member of our Evolution One community for over 5 years, finding ease, presence, and clarity in nature and within the community. Alan is a graduate of both pathways, an ambassador for the work, and brings insights from his own realization path. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Christel. I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, me too. And finally, we have Yulia Costache, a Pillar of Light and Service graduate. Born in Romania by the Black Sea, Yulia moved to Colorado in 2002. She is a single mother of 2 and has worked in the casino industry for 22 years. Yulia is also an active member of our Living Alignment community and is ready to begin her path as an Earth Keeper in Service this spring. Welcome, Yulia.
Thank you.
And welcome, everyone. Welcome to all the people that are watching here in Zoom. Hello, my friends. I see you. And energetically, I feel you on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. So welcome. Welcome, everyone. So we have had the opportunity over the past few days to connect with these panelists and really be in remembrance of our journeys as we were going through our trainings and what's happened as a result, and what's happened since then. And we've come up with some really beautiful anecdotes and stories and experiences amongst ourselves, and we're going to share some of those with you. But first, I want to tell you about a little bit more about our level twos. Our level two courses offer a chance to go deeper into the work you've begun with foundations. Pillars of Light level two is going to guide you to expand your awareness of the established energetic field, which we'll learn a lot more about in Pillars of Light. And it's going to help you explore higher states of consciousness and strengthen your connection to non-material dimensions. Who here, just raise of hands from the audience, who here has already been through Pillars of Light level two? You can just raise your just raise your, okay, so a lot of people here. And so there's also a lot of people who haven't raised their hands. So we're really excited to invite you into this. This is going to be a capacity expanding experience. And you'll see Foundations was just the beginning. Earth Keepers level two is going to support you in attuning to Earth's energy, allowing you to deepen your sensitivity and work with higher levels of energy and understand also how you presence that and how your presence impacts the Earth's grid. How many of you have been through Earth Keepers level two? And how many have not yet? Awesome. Okay, so I see a combination of hands that are people who have done none of them, have not gone down any pathway yet, and then some that have gone down one pathway and not the other, and that's going to be really exciting. And Yulia, you'll have some friends to experience some Pillars of Light and Service friends to experience the newness of the Earth Keepers pathway. That's going to be fun. So together, the reason that we're doing these trainings together is that together these level two courses create a powerful synergy. They're going to lift up your consciousness while grounding you in the Earth's wisdom. And completing both courses in sequence allows each pathway to build and enhance the other. Now, you don't have to take both if you're not feeling called to both. But if you do take both, just know you're creating an integrated foundation that prepares you then for the level threes, where you'll embody the full spectrum of abilities needed for in-service work, both to people and situations and to the earth. And to hear more in depth about this work, we're going to begin our discussion with inspiring individuals who have embraced the Pillars of Light and Earth Keepers journeys, both in the trainings and outside of the trainings. So, without further ado, we want to bring to life these real stories. And I'm going to get to the questions that we have listed here, and I'm going to remind the panelists if there's anything else that you want to share that maybe you weren't prepared to share, just raise your hand, and we can keep this dynamic and flowing, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, are you guys ready? Are my panelists ready? I mean, they've been working for days, so maybe they weren't ready 3 days ago, but and I will also say before we begin, when I say they've been working for days, we have been opening to our connection. We have been opening to the field, and we have been allowing for the magic of what wants to be shared in this space to emerge. And that's what we're doing here with you all right now. So, before I ask the first question, I'm sensing that the bigger group, let's everybody just close our eyes for a second. And you're going to get to know more and more and more of this. You're going to get to feel more and more of this and access more and more of this through level 2s, level 3s, through the training pathways. So we're really going to go on a journey here in this next 9 months. But for right now, let's just everybody presence here. Taking a breath in and a breath out. Noticing our bodies in the space that we're in. Feeling the air against your skin. Feeling your heartbeat. Feeling the weight of gravity. And just allowing. Feeling this field that has been established already, settling around you. Fostering this collaboration. Knowing that the words that are spoken today are a representation of the collective. Opening your eyes. So this is about hearing from those who are in service about being in service. In this day and time, how has being in service, both as a pillar of light in service and an earth keeper in service, shown up in your daily lives? Alan, would you like to speak first?
Sure. Thank you, Christel, for giving me this opportunity. It's actually been really an interesting opportunity because I had to consider, the question of what shows up in my life. For me to answer this question, I want to share first with you what I've gained from the teachings of these two paths. So first and foremost, for me, these teachings have given me the tools and the methods and the processes to use in my life as I journey this path of self-realization. The wisdom teachings of the guides are very profound. The transmissions are very powerful, the alignments, the adjustments, the meditations, the practices, the seals talks, the community involvements have all contributed to provide me with the processes and the practices of silence, presence, and observation, and alignment. And through these practices, realizations occur. It's given me the means and awareness to deepen my presence, which deepening my presence further strengthening the silence, the observation, the realizations, my realizations. I've also been given a mental framework to place all these concepts in, which for me is important because it allows an understanding to emerge. So through these practices, awareness of my beliefs is heightened. The layers upon layers of beliefs and the consequent actions and emotions have become much more present in my consciousness. Also present in my consciousness are the patterns of my life that repeat and repeat. And once I see them, realizations are possible, or then possible. And with the realizations come the possibility of release, the opportunity or the possibilities of making a conscious choice. I can constrict around the belief and the emotion and the pattern and defend it and keep it going, or it can release it and create equanimity in my life. The teachings have also given me the space to have emotional distance from my judgments, all the judgments that arise in our three-dimensional duality. This emotional distance allows me conscious choice in my actions, not just respond with knee-jerk actions. So I can acknowledge the judgments, uncover the beliefs, allow the related emotion to dissipate or not, and take a conscious connected action. So for me, it comes down to these basic practices that we all know and love, or will know and love. Silence, presence, alignment, observation, realizations, and conscious creation. In my life, this has engendered compassion, forgiveness, empathy, joy, love of others, and some amount of self-love. Although the self-love is a constant work in progress, which is interesting. So through the practice, with all the challenges and situations that life presents and the consequent depth of emotions that I experience, these processes have become more internally integrated in my consciousness. So as Christel said earlier, I'm more internally resourced. I love that. So I change, I evolve, I grow, I create, and I no longer have to be mired in old challenges, old beliefs, old patterns. Life mirrors back to me my state of awareness. And it's through this mirror that is how things show up. But so through my evolution and interactions, I serve the evolution and transformation of human consciousness. On the Earthkeeper side of these practices, I have an enhanced awareness and appreciation of my connection with all of life, material and non-material, connections with other humans, the earth, the nature realms, plants, animals, trees, gravity, sun, the sky, the cosmic dimensions, the Christed dimension, stars, to name a subset. I have always had a deep connection to our Mother Earth and recognize her as a living being in consciousness. Through the Earthkeeper's practice, my connection is deepened and my understanding of the energetic grids has increased. The program has given me more practices to be of service for the alignment and transmission of energy to the grids, to hotspots, to sites that are in need of energetic support. So it's with this foundation, born from these teachings, that I live my life. And so now I can actually answer the question of how has being in service shown up in my life. Although I want to slightly reframe the question to be
few years. So that's my service. And so, I get a text from someone within the family, and you can see where, oh, they're choosing to sabotage. But like Alan was saying, it's now you pull back, you observe, you allow them that space. But man, when it comes to family, that's so much tougher for me. Maybe for other people it's easy, but it's not for me. And I'm a trained counselor, so I know how to separate. I got that. But when it's my immediate family, that's hard. So, but again, the whole alignment thing and intertwined with Earthkeeper, I now go for a walk because where do I get resourced? I get resourced going on that hike through the woods. I'm literally grounding myself with every step of the way. I can feel from Mother Earth the release of my tension into the earth and her energy up through. I can say there's been a couple times when I've been on that hike, because I can keep that alignment because of this training that we've had and getting into the alignment. I've had profound things happen on these hikes that now is a complete Earthkeeper episode going on, which if I was out of alignment and all out of whack because I'm thinking, well, this person should have said this and, no. I can do that, move into now this Earthkeeper thing because that's what wanted to happen. Yep, I'm right there. I'm on it. So it is absolutely affects daily life. And we feel so supported and resourced to be able to ride with it, man. It's a wave and we can be on it. We can be on it and not bowled over by it. That's it, Christel. Thanks.
Beautifully said, Anne and Alan, touching upon something that's very prevalent in the world, our current world today, which is this is not going to eliminate chaos. This is going to allow you to dance with chaos in a way that doesn't totally blow you out of your center. And many years ago, we talked about it, Asil and we were having this conversation about like, well, but we still get triggered and we still get angry. And he's like, yeah, but the anger is there, but the recovery is shorter, right? You don't let yourself get so blown out. So the space that we're working with once we've refined our energy and these accelerated realizations that have come into play, it's like they're still going to come. Right? This doesn't exonerate you from self-realization. It'll happen for the rest of your life, but it allows you to really recognize that in the moment, and that's actually one of the biggest things in my daily life that I've experienced is like, whoa, wait a second, Christel, wow, look what's happening here. Yeah.
Well, it also it provides myself, say the text message from somebody that really could set me off. It's like, whoa, Anne, you're still hanging on to something here. Isn't it wonderful this has happened?
Yeah.
Because now, as Ellen said, we can have that realization as to that, and that clears it away.
Yes.
It now becomes, that's the end of that story because
Right.
I've cleared it. Oh, trust me, there'll be other ones,
Yeah.
but not that one again.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love about training season, let's call it, is that we're all going through it together, right? So
Yeah.
the Evolution One team, we go through these courses as well, and then we hold space for everybody and do all the things that need to be done with the mighty networks and this and that. But we're doing it together, and so there is a shared understanding of like, hey, the likelihood is that somebody is rapidly transforming as they're doing all the things in daily life. So this live component is for me so special because we're all going through this, this journey together. So for those of you who are going to be on this live journey, you're in for a treat. A little self-realization treat. All right, so we talked about, showing up in daily lives. And there are still some people who have signed up or considering signing up, or maybe they've signed up again. So what advice would you give? I'm going to go actually to the Earth Keepers pathway first, Linda, if that's okay. What advice would you give to someone considering the Earth Keepers pathway?
Thank you, Christel. Just in answer to what you said, I think that is amazing. The fact that as time goes on and we become more proficient in our levels of silence, presence, and alignment, that gap of recovering and the realization does get stronger. And I think it gets stronger because we're working as a collective and with a group. And that is something that shows up time and time again. So, I would just acknowledge that and say, yep, and agree with you, Anne and Alan as well. So, in that question, what advice would you give someone asking about Earthkeeper's pathway? Well, I mean, what a blessing. First of all, at my stage of life, which is not that old, but it's don't have so many responsibilities anymore. And I felt the need to do some deeper work for myself. And particularly with the connection to the earth. I'd done the Pillars of Light in service, and then I thought, I want to do something more for the earth. I don't have the same responsibilities for people so much anymore. So I've always been aware of other people's states, and now I felt, as I say, the need to connect to the earth a bit more. I was looking to find ways to be able to give back to the earth. I was very curious about what happened with the earth, and living in a lovely country of England, where it's a country of mystical knowledge, magic, beauty, history, and fantasy, like many countries are. There was so much that I wanted to connect to, but I wasn't really sure how to do this. So, just like the expressions of you are what you eat, I thought, well, if I'm on this land, I am also what's coming up in this land. And if this land is not in a good place, then I'm not necessarily in a good place and the other people around it. So I recognized that there were places where I felt joy and wrapped around in comfort and everything. But I also recognized this place where, it wasn't such a comfortable place. And I thought maybe this pathway of Earth Keepers would teach me how to be able to access this. So by taking the Earth Keepers course, taught me how to tune into these skills. So first of all, you might naturally just tune in and go, yeah, this earth feels good. But with the steps and the pathway that Earth Keepers in Surface gives us, it means that those steps can be repeated so that you know how to do it another time, which really for me is important. I like to follow a step, and when we're doing this step, we do it all together. So we follow these paths. And Asil explains it really well. The fact that sacred spaces are often places where the frequency have been recognized as powerful sites. And following that, therefore, buildings, temples, beautiful places are built and people come. But also there are places where the frequencies are not so pleasant. And as a result of it, it's not comfortable to be there. And that frequency will, in fact, attract more of the same. So you get places that are not so good, but you also get places that are comfortable. So these areas that needed assistance and balance, I thought I'd like to do that. I'm interested in that. I've got this body, I might as well use it. And the Elohim, as I said, in both pathways and the seals, given us this guidance. And the structure of this is all to do with the basics of silence, presence, and alignment. Hence the need for understanding that state of alignment. So what I'd like to say as well is whether you do Earth Keepers or whether you do Pillars of Light, both of them work together, interacting with each other and in harmony. And another cool thing is you might be a person that can't get to all these different places, but I was amazed to find out that looking at these sites or tuning in with these people remotely is equally as strong. In fact, stronger sometimes when you're in your own places of quiet and comfort, and you've shut the outside world away. It makes it equally as strong. So I think for me, that's why it was important, because connecting to various different places. And I'll give you two examples. Very recently, we did an Earth Keepers attunement online together. And I found by tuning into this site, not only did I find that this was amazing, but I actually felt that the alignment of this site actually aligned through me, and I could feel my skeletal structure align. And as I was aligning, then I was able to align back. Now, I don't think I'm particularly clever or anything like that, but this is the guidance and the steps. And then other times I've been on an expedition with a SEAL where we went to a massive grave site where there'd been lots of trauma. And it was beautiful for us to be able to connect to that place, bring all those lovely beings to be released or to be in peace and harmony. And we felt that that really was amazing. And to do that is such a gift, because that gift of balance makes me quite emotional, is given not just to the land, as I said, but the people that are on the land benefit from that. And if I benefit from it, the land benefits, we all benefit from it. So yes, Earthkeeper's Pathway, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Got a bit excited there.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, it's an exciting pathway. When you were talking about it, I was, especially about the remote attunements, one thing that comes to mind is like, it's like a superpower that we all possess, and it's just a matter of unlocking it.
Yeah.
And that is, it's beautiful. And then the second part, when you were talking about how your spine was aligning, the sometimes when people go down the Earth Keeper's path, they think, oh, I want to do good for for the earth. But what they don't recognize um, is that you are the earth, right? So you're
Yeah.
also doing good for yourself, right? So the energy that's coming through is creating this alignment, this healing, this um, expansion that you are then sharing
Mm.
with a space. But it
Mm.
doesn't come through you and deplete you. It comes through you and it nourishes you.
And I'd just like to add there that I've mentioned this before, the fact that we have a process that we've been given by the higher realms directly, this special field that's been created for us to practice in. When you've been told that you've actually been initiated, first of all, I thought, well, I might not be very good at this, but they've actually said you've been initiated. And then you can go off and do your work. Nobody's going to know what you're doing, but you can quietly just go and do it, or you can do it with a group. And that is just amazing. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for sharing that. I can really feel that in the Earth Keeper's work. And the Pillars of Light pathway is a training pathway that we've not done for, we completed the last one January 2023, I believe, or 2024. It's been a while. And so again, there are people that have taken Earth Keepers training and not had the opportunity yet to take Pillars of Light. And so they may be considering it, or they may be entering into this right now. And there are some that are brand new to this whole thing. And so the next natural step is, Pillars of Light for them. And maybe you're exploring both pathways or one of them. And then, of course, there's those who are returning. So Alan and Yulia, I would love to ask you Alan, maybe you want to go first. What advice would you give to someone considering the Pillars of Light pathway?
Following Linda's eloquence, boy, that's a big one. That's really a big one. So, since I'm never going to be that eloquent, I want to read a short passage from the Elohim because they're brilliant. It's short. It's short. In this evolutionary process, every individual is required to face the challenges and the misalignments within. All aspects of yourself, all aspects of your relationships, all aspects of your emotional construct and your mental constructs, every aspect of you on the journey to greater alignment requires attention. You allow the space and time in your life to be established, to receive all that is within you, ready to be expressed, ready to be realized, understanding and knowing that every realization that occurs within you is a step that moves you forward, is a step that liberates you from the constructs of your own creation. So, given that wisdom, I would say that if you want to be liberated, or if you want liberation from the constructs that you create, that we each of us create, and from the patterns of your life that you may be mired in, that you repeat, then fully embrace the Pillars of Light pathway.
Thank you, Alan. Mic drop. Thank you, Alan. Yulia, we haven't heard from you yet. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Christel. For me, I would say that, first of all, when I took the Pillars of Light, the first course I took, I felt the energetic support immediately. It's like a bubble of love, of divine guidance that you just feel around you, that works with you, for you, and it keeps blossoming. It is, for me, I know I can get to a greater state of alignment, and I can feel how every time I connect to these energies, these grounding energies of a pillar of light, I feel more connected to myself, first of all. In what I would recommend, this is a divine gift in my life, so I do recommend anyone that feels called to take the Pillars of Light to do so. How it shows up in my life at work and at home, I get to witness myself and my triggers. I get to realign, I get to assess, I have the tools. And like Alan said, I feel more internally resourced to make the alignment necessary to find opportunities of healing for me and my children. And working in the casino business, because we talked about it, Christel, I asked the guides for some clear explanation of what exactly is happening on a spiritual level. And being a pillar of light in this industry, for me, it's like an observatory for duality at play within me and the others. And it is a place where new realizations did occur, and I had even channeled for myself inspirational messages, or how to solve different situations in my life, which is very interesting, because you were saying that many spiritual experiences have happened in Vegas. And as I witness others, and as I witness myself witnessing other people, because I do interact with so many energies, I get a chance to evaluate where I need to work on myself as well. It's like a good reference point to my own evolution. And what I've noticed the most, though, since I have been initiated a pillar of light in service, is that I can hold my energetic structure in a large group of people, which it has been a challenge in the past. So that is a huge benefit. Working in a busy environment and sometimes, at different hours of the day. And this work has increased my capacity to be the best that I can for me and my family and at work. So I want to say thank you.
Beautiful, Yulia. Thank you so much. The panelists and the team that's working behind the scenes know that I'm obsessed with Yulia and her story, and I think she needs to do a TED Talk. But I'm especially in love with people who are sitting amidst all of it, sitting amidst the very dual human aspects of life and staying and embodying and transmitting that alignment to others, giving them an opportunity, which is what a pillar of light is, right? You're giving somebody an opportunity to recognize a different frequency and to choose that simply by emanating it. There's another choice in the room. There's another choice in the situation. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be a physical environment like a casino. How many of us have social media? How much practice as pillars of light in service and earth keepers in service, if you've been through the trainings, how much practice do you get on a daily basis if you choose to scroll through your feeds? As much as I've done to make my feed positive and light filled, something always gets in, right? So it's the being in the world. We call it the everyday evolutionaries, right? We are the everyday evolutionaries. This is not an opportunity for us any longer to, go sit in a sanctuary or a cave or a monastery. We're choosing to be out into the world, and therefore we would benefit from some equipment. And this is that tuning of our equipment, both the earth keepers and the pillars of light pathways. So thank you for presenting that and for offering that, Yulia. And Alan, thank you for the quote from Elohim. There, it's always so perfect whatever comes out of a seal's mouth. That's theirs that he's channeled is beautiful. All right, we have one more question for Anne and Linda. So if someone is considering doing both pathways, what would you want them to know? Because the guides have said that you can do one pathway or another, but having a pillar of light and service initiation actually deepens the earth keepers in service experience, which is why we're choosing to go on this path of level 2s first and then level 3s, rather than just doing it in cycles of one pathway and then the other pathway. So, Anne, do you want to go first?
Great, thanks. When it comes back to being an earth keeper in service, as Linda was saying, when we're initiated, one of the things that when we're doing, say, a remote attunement, that the Elohim have said that we are a vessel of the divine, that we are beings of great capacity, and then they're always talking about expanding. Well, with doing both, again, I guess I could achieve some of those things as just an earth keeper, but it would take me a really long time. So to me, the work of Pillar of Light expedites the process. And I like being efficient, and let's just get to it. So just from a very pragmatic point of view, expedite is like the best word that keeps coming to me. But also just the expansion of being able to see things and move more quickly through it. So what my example of that will be, I had thought through about doing an attunement for the North Pole remotely, and then with some other people, and we were going to make it a Zoom call. And the other woman then was saying, oh, and let's do the South Pole too, because she'd been feeling that. And keep in mind, that whole thing of expansion was, I don't wake up thinking about the North Pole, but it came to me. And that's how you know, oh, this is what I'm being called to do. I mean, I would have picked something else if it was just me and my brain. But again, because of alignment, it comes to you. So anyway, I've got the idea of the North Pole spiritually. This woman has the idea of the South Pole. Now, I was like a little like, okay, not that I was annoyed, not that I was annoyed with her, but it was a matter of then expanding that much space. And I wasn't ready for that. So then even when we're in the midst of the attunement, honest, it was amazing. The whole world. And so, you feel this duality going on inside you, like, whoa, I wasn't ready for this. But then it's like, oh, yes, I am, because I am a divine vessel capacity. And so it's like, got it. And you're along for the ride and you're doing it. And it was amazing. But that's such a great, to me, like the dance between the Pillar of Light and Earth Keeper. And the other thing, so it's not only just an expansion of, in this example, being geographically expanding to the whole world, but it's an expansion within myself to see me that way, to see me, this little nobody whatever, sitting upstairs in her bedroom, doing an attunement on a Zoom call. I was like, yep, but here I am. And here's any of us. I'm not special. But Linda's, I love Linda. I've met her, but she's just kind of a normal person. and so am I. And we're all just normal people, but we've been called to do this work, and we've been given the tools to do this work. We have our list of how to do it. Yes, Linda, I like the list. I like the steps. So one other point though was, for any of us too, what I've always loved about just all of Evolution One is their constant support to us. And for me and my Earth Keeper work, I'm more drawn to a certain aspect of like, I've been in several situations where I live in this area of the Civil War battles. So over 100,000 people were casualties within 10 miles of my house. So on that hike I was telling you about, I'm walking along and everything and singing, and the North and the South of our Civil War singing together. It was an issue of unity and healing. And I could feel spirits just being released and ascending. So, and I share that with you. One, I didn't go there expecting that. I went there just for my hike, but that's what happened. All right. But my point is, other people have other experiences as Earth Keepers in service. That's my point. And it's my encouragement to anybody considering these paths. You might be felt to a certain kind of swim lane to this work. This I know is my swim lane, because this and aspects of it have happened several times. Great. but it's not maybe somebody else's. That's great too. But within this community, we are so accepted and respectful of everybody's swim lane and what we're doing. Evolution One asks of us, just please be in alignment to do this work. Yeah.
Thank you, Anne. I forgot about
Yeah.
the singing of the soldiers.
Yeah. And what was beautiful was it was like in the beginning of December. And so I'm singing Christmas carols because I like Christmas carols. But at that era of time in the 1800s, everybody would have known Christmas carols. It was a point of unity that the North and the South could both sing together. And that unity created something. It was probably one of the most magical experiences I've had to date. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, and it's also amazing to bring to light what you just said about how everyone's got their own swim lane. How
Yeah.
people come in all different aspects, right? This one's got transcendental meditation for the past 25 years. This one was, living in an ashram for 20 years. This one is, Kabbalah trained, all of shamans, everyone. So there's never any like asking of somebody to give something up in order
Right.
to adopt something else. It's a very integrative layer that is that can be put over anything and works well with others, right? We have lots of Reiki masters and um,
Yeah.
and and those who consider this, professional development, right? To make so that they can be of greater service too. And then there's also, I don't want to lie, there's also some other people that have come in with a very specific uh, idea, lineage, practice, or offering to the world that have gone, maybe there's something more. Maybe I'm actually limiting myself with just light language or just offering meditation or yoga, and their gifts change and they expand too. So being open to that type of journey, which is really what is your true essence and your true soul wanting to deliver to this world, which may not be what you had originally anticipated. So people
Exactly.
find out,
Yeah.
find that as well. Okay, Linda, would you like to share?
Hello. Yes, fascinating. Yeah, fascinating subject. I think it's quite true, the fact that people come in with different gifts that they have or different presentations, but somehow we all seem to put it all together and we work together, still doing things with our own individual flavors, but working together, I think we just make something very strong. I think about it like a big fruit cake. You get everybody putting everything in it, and then you get this amazing cake. It might not be gluten-free, but you can change that a bit. But it just makes something special. Anyway, in answer to your question about those people that are doing both pathways, when it came to the point when I joined Evolution One, I started listening to all the transmissions that Asil did, and I was eager to get in there, and I thought, yes, Earth Keepers is my pathway. However, that wasn't available at the time, and because I was so eager to get in there and just get started and do the work, I thought, well, I'm going to try the Pillars of Light. Now, as I've already told you on the previous discussion, that actually the Pillars of Light pathway benefited me immensely. But before I did the Earth Keepers pathway, I then followed the directions and the trainings with everybody else doing the Pillars of Light. And the fact is, I'd been doing lots of meditation for years before and working with lots of patients in different ways, using all sorts of things. But again, because we were given these steps with which to work, it's that old process. If you do something well, you need to know how to do it again so you can continue to do it well, or you can share it with other people by giving a structure. So that actually helped me to develop my deeper states of silence, presence, and alignment. You know, that word alignment means so many different things to different people, but it's a bit about maybe being in the middle of that Christmas cake when everything is happening all around you, but you're in that state of silence. And by following the steps that we were given in the pillars of light, that helped me much more quickly to get into that state of alignment. And another thing that really interested me was when Asil was talking about doing these pathways, the fascinating thing was that the frequencies of each level that we did increased over time, so that nowadays there's not a need for Asil to check if people are ready to do the next level, because collectively, as humanity, our vibration and frequency is raised. So when you come in to do this next level of Pillars of Light or Earth Keepers, the frequency is already higher than it was when I did it a few years ago. So it's constantly changing, it's constantly developing. So basically, I would say that this field that they created to help us practice in, it does create this amazing sense of alignment. And the to be able to have that, the two do go hand in hand, but also they go separately if you wish. And a situation that was recently I experienced was that I was in a situation where there was a great sadness. A family member was passing.